One of the things that might be at Comic-Con next year is Spider-Man, depending on when Spider-Man's coming out. There's more news with Spider-Man, and this time it's Spider-Man Brand New Day. Is it set before Avengers Doomsday? We're going to see. That's the rumor, is that it's set before, because now it was moved. It was supposed to come out after Doomsday. Now it's coming out before. With set construction underway in Glasgow, Scotland, some signage in Spider-Man Brand New Day's New York City has seemingly revealed whether the movie takes place before or after Doomsday. The first photos from the set of Spider-Man Brand New Day in Scotland have swung online, and they reveal when the movie takes place in the MCU timeline. As you can see below, signage has been put up indicating the construction is taking place on a building in New York that's set to be completed in December 2027. The events of Captain America Brave New World played out across 2026 and 2027, with Thunderbolt set in 2027. The latter movie's post-credit scene jumped into the events of Avengers Doomsday with a 14-month later title card, placing the movie in 28-29. With that in mind, Spider-Man Brand New Day is almost set before the next Avengers movie, not between Doomsday and Secret Wars, as some has previously speculated. Spider-Man Brand New Day has been a street-level adventure. Spider-Man Brand New Day being a street-level adventure rather than another multiversal blockbuster was recently confirmed by Kevin Feige. I think there's a promise at the end of No Way Home that, for as said as it is, that Peter is forgotten by everyone in his life. We are seeing for the first time in the Tom Holland Spider-Man stories him being a proper Spider-Man, him being by himself, dedicated to saving the city and dealing with, for lack of a better term, street-level crime as opposed to world-ending events. So when you do that, you say, okay, who are the other street-level characters that we've never seen him interact with? And of course, I love that Punisher started in a Spider-Man comic. That great cover, I don't want to say too much, but Destin, I will say too much. Destin is doing an amazing job right now on that movie, which starts shooting very soon, and he's got 8 or 9 comic covers up on his wall in his art department that he is bringing to life in this movie, which is super cool. Marvel Studios typically releases movies and TV shows in a rough chronological order, so Spider-Man Brand New Day taking place before Avengers Doomsday was perhaps to be expected. All right, Mike, start with you. Surprising, or as they say, it's on par?
Oh my God, Mike.
Unbelievable.
Jesus.
God damn. I would say on par.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's funny because seeing Fantastic Four and where that movie ended.
Yeah.
That movie Doomsday has so much groundwork to lay. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know how they do it. I don't know what's going to happen. They're still writing the script. Mystique saying they don't have a finished script. I don't know, man. It's best if this thing is just standalone by itself. Let it be, because I mean, kind of like Fantastic Four was just by itself.
Do you know who's happy right now?
Who?
Jocelyn. Look at your screen. Oh, there you go.
Well, you jinxed yourself. That's what you get.
It was there for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I hope it's standalone. And I think maybe when they did the switch of the dates, they were like, you know what? We're still writing this thing.
Yeah.
We don't know if we can put Tom in this. Said it before.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, Roxy, you know what I like about this, though? And I don't think that I saw the Kevin Feige comment, and I'm glad that we finally got that confirmation. This Spider-Man needed to be street level. It had to be, because we've seen Tom Holland go to, as Nick Fury said, bitch, you've been to space. And it's like, I want to see him as street level Spider-Man. I want to see those adventures that Andrew Garfield got to do and Tobey Maguire got to do, and him swinging around in New York City and people not knowing who he is. So I like that we're going on this street level thing, and the fact that it's leading into the Doomsday where he can get involved in the big stuff later on. But I don't know, this whole article, this whole thing, what are your thoughts on it?
I'm kind of glad that it's not my job to do timeline stuff. If you had asked, this stuff, and haha jokes coming in from the chat, I'm sure, but this stuff goes over my head in terms of I never would have picked up on the fact that this is 2027 to 2028 to when that makes it. Like, that's just not how I watch movies or what I'm thinking about. The order of events, the chronological order, that's interesting to me. But if you had said, what's the timeline of the MCU? What year are they in? I would have said our year. I didn't even realize this. So I'm glad that's not my job. But I think we all predicted this when they moved the dates of the movies. Mm-hmm. That was the order of events, and that makes more sense. I think it'd be really, really strange for them to have not moved the order of the movies and then just have us gone back. That wouldn't have made sense. So cool.
Yeah. I mean, I like the fact where it is timeline wise. And what about as far as where they're going on a more street level Spider-Man with, right?
Yeah. I'm excited enough for this for sure.
Yeah. All right. So I'm also curious what you guys think about it out there. Do you think that Spidey being in the Doomsday movie after his next movie is the right move? Street level, does it make sense? Him teaming with the Punisher? And I guess we'll move on to that. Mike, what do you think about him teaming with the Punisher in this one? And do you think that are they going to be able to take that R-rated John Bernthal and make him PG-13?
You know, I was thinking about this earlier today. I don't know, because his is a very specific take on the Punisher. The only time I'm trying to think that we've seen something like this happen so far is Daredevil and She-Hulk when he popped in there, and they tweaked him a little bit. You know, the character Daredevil was slightly tweaked. He was a little more athletic, a little more CGI involved. And then when they brought Born Again back, it's like, oh, it's back to what it was on Netflix. So I don't know if they're going to do that, kind of tweak him a little bit, make him a little more fit in with the world. It's kind of wishing. One of the things I loved about Fantastic Four was that Earth 828. I would have loved to see them stay in that universe for about 10 years with these MCU films.
Agreed.
And kind of lean into the comic book silliness of it. It's gonna be interesting. And also I heard the Hulk is in this.
How would that have worked, Mike?
Well, honestly, my thought was this: you say, "All right,
what are you actually pitching?"
I love that Roxy not only froze,
but
look at that promotion right there.
What?
I didn't even know you had that mug.
Yeah, hell yeah!
I love that. When did you get that? Did I give that to you? All right. I know you all heard of Viagra or Cialis, maybe even tried them. If you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, I got it. Rougiette Ready. If the usual pill isn't doing the trick, Rougiette Ready, it could be the answer. It's a 3-in-1 formula. It dissolves under your tongue, absorbs fast. You'll be ready in just 15 minutes on average, not hours, and effects can last up to 36 hours. That means that you're going to stay confident, you're going to stay present, and in control when the moment is right. Getting started is super simple. Rougiette connects you with a board-certified doctor, 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment ships directly to your door. Connect with a provider at rougiette.com/Kristian to see if a Rougiette-ready prescription is right for you. You can get the code Kristian to get 15% off today. Rougiette.com/Kristian. Use that promo code Kristian to get 15% off today. Head on over to rougiette.com/Kristian. Use that code Kristian to get 15% off today. Use the code to support the show, and so Rougiette knows that we sent you. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the Rougiette website for full safety information.
No, I bought it.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Rox, how I would do it, and again, it's a little too late because they're already going with some stuff. I would have, if in my perfect world, at the end of Endgame, that ends for the time being the MCU in this universe. Then we pick up the next movie is Fantastic Four, and we do 10 years on their Earth, and we introduce all the heroes through that lens of this kind of stylized 60s, because that's when a majority of the Marvel characters were created.
When you say all the heroes, who are you referencing? Like
Spider-Man, Daredevil, Captain America,
new Spidey, new Daredevil,
new characters. And then after 5-6 years of that, you have the two worlds, the Earth 818 and the Earth 616 merge, and that is your Secret Wars, or that is your Doomsday. I think that would have been infinitely less complicated than what we've been dealing with over the past 5 years.
Well, you know,
it would have gave them such a different lens, because they're talking. Feige's even said, he's like, hey man, there's going to be a new Cap, there's going to be a new Iron Man. That will be incredibly difficult for people to accept. But if you had set them as variants in a different Earth and those two meet, you're golden.
Yesterday on the show, someone in the chat, what I think that what they ultimately should have done with the multiverse leading into Doomsday was what they did with Fantastic Four, but they should have done this years ago. Each story after Endgame should have been on different multiverse
Earths. Yeah.
And because what it would have allowed is essentially what Fantastic Four did. You didn't have to do homework. You're starting up fresh. You're introducing us new characters, and they would have done that. All these different universes, then by the time you get to Doomsday, then you've learned all these things, and then they all have to be together. I think it could, and hindsight now, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
Mikey, completely agree with what you pitched, and pitched that myself. I got into it in a fun way with Hector Navarro about it, but I think it, like you also acknowledged, it's too late for that. We couldn't have just stayed there after what we've set up.
Nope.
I think that a lot of times, and I know people get annoyed with this because it's not just for kids, but a lot of times we are thinking from the perspective of people in our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. And we're not thinking about the perspective of people who are getting into comic book movies for the first time and want an entry point that is truly an entry point. And while Fantastic Four is a great entry point for people for just this one movie, it isn't a great entry point for where we're about to go, where you have to know 50 other characters.
No, not at all.
So I think it's at some point, it does get a little frustrating when, if you are, say you're 12 and like you have to go and watch 70 properties.
Well, not even just 12. Look at Sam. Like right now, Sam. I had a phone conversation with I was talking to Luke, and I don't want to watch Agatha again. Not because I didn't like it. I liked it. But like, we're like, dude, is it really necessary? I want to finish the MCU. We've been watching it for 7 months. 7 months.
People that say you don't need the homework are lying to you.
Feige has lied so much about that. Like, he continues to.
Fantastic Four, you don't need to see anything before you see that movie. You're good.
Agreed.
But everything else, you absolutely need to see it.
Except for you do need to see it before you see Fantastic Four, not to understand Fantastic Four, but for where they're going. Otherwise,
sure. Now that it's out, you do need to watch it. Sure.
I guess the point, Roxy, your point is more than valid, but I guess if Fantastic Four was the only thing you were going to watch,
right,
and you were going to Fantastic Four going, you know what, I just want to watch a Fantastic Four movie, you can go in there not having any hope. But if you're like, well, I want to see how this is incorporated to going forward, you can do that, but you won't have the same like relationship with it that everybody else who has gone through it, because once you get to 8,743 characters that are going to be in these next movies, and it's not even just the MCU. You're going to have to watch all the X-Men movies.
What is the real number of relevant movies and TV shows to the MCU? Because just MCU movies alone, there's been 30?
Yeah, I think it's
37.
I think everything's in the 40s or the 50s.
40s and
50s. Oh, my God.
So, and then with the TV shows, we've got a dozen?
Yeah, it just depends.
The X-Men movies?
I'm including the TV shows in that too, but I would say mid-40s. And somebody probably will put it in the thing pretty soon, but and it also depends. Are we incorporating What If? Are we incorporating
Daredevil,
the Netflix stuff too? Because it essentially is now.
I saw something today. They were talking about that new Wakanda animated show. But they're saying like, well, that's true canon. It's not canon like What If. I'm like, what the are we talking about?
Right.
Like, it's not even in the canon. You're like, what's going on here?
Right.
Are you guys planning on watching that?
I have the links to it. I want to see it. I'm interested in it. I just think it's going to be one of those things the same way that someone talked to me about that SpiderMan animated show, and they're like, you got to watch it. And I know it's not the same kind of canon, but I'm like, What If turned me away from the animated stuff, because not because I didn't love it. I loved it, but I was like, oh, they're going to incorporate that thing into this, and they don't. They just ignore it.
And they said that they were. They said that what happens in What If is canon. It's going to be in effect, and it didn't.
It's completely ignored. The Watch there. I was like, oh, what are they going to do with Ultron now? That is such an incredible storyline. They have an Ultron. That season 1. Ignored. Never even bring it up once.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it's just it's similar to like the Star Wars stuff. I'm like, I'm not getting into that stuff. So I might, because I'm interested, but it's just not going to be part of that overall journey, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Kristian, what are you doing with your kids when it comes to MCU?
Well, my oldest doesn't give a crap about it anymore. She used to. She watched the whole. I will say, about a couple weeks ago, she did say, we never finished the MCU stuff, and I was like, I didn't think you wanted to. She's like, nah, I don't know. She's more into like, she wants to see Wicked 2. She wants to see Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, this generation, as far as like these kids, they're not as locked into movies, at least.
Also, maybe she got a little overwhelmed by having to watch 50 properties.
Maybe, but I think it was during the pandemic, so they were just we
Okay,
were
okay.
looking for stuff to watch, you know. And even that year, she went dressed up as Black Widow for Halloween. She was really into it. And then she just, you know, she's like a teenager.
What about Maisie?
Maisie is about as girly girl as you get. Not to say that girls can't be into the MCU, but she's just not. She doesn't even want to watch it. She was, although she was. Well, you know what, Mike, you'll be proud. You know what? I walked in the other day. You know, she was watching Teen Titans.
Yeah.
I saw. I was like, what are you watching?
Oh.
I saw Cyborg and or Flash, and somebody was doing a hacky. What are those races in the hacky sacks? Whatever the hell those things are called. What are those things called when you put yourself in the
Potato sack race?
Yeah, potato sack race, and they're doing, and it was like Robin versus the Flash, and I was like, and my little one just found it, and she was watching it. I'm like, oh, look at that. Anyway, I don't even know what the hell we were talking about. Oh, whatever it was. Put your thoughts in there about the MCU. Confusing, not confusing.